All right, so today I'm going to cover what I consider to be the foundation of a lot of what Zigaboo Modeliste is doing with the meters. And it's also a great place to start if you want to begin looking at and addressing any kind of the New Orleans second line or New Orleans funk stuff. So one of the things that Zig draws from is this groove that I call the Ratcliffe Beat. And that's because I got to see Zig do a clinic in 1992. It was a joint clinic with him and Johnny Vodakovich at the PASIC convention in New Orleans, the only time they had it in New Orleans. So I was there with bells on and took notes, and the question came up, Zig, how did you develop your beat to Sissy Strut? And he showed us all that he took this beat from Stanley Ratcliffe and then eventually gradually modified it into what became Sissy Strut. So that beat, what I call the Ratcliffe Beat, is all right, left, right, left, right, left, 16th notes, and you play that on the hi-hat. And the key to it is finding the feel that is in between straight and swing. So let me give you this little exercise that you may have seen me do before, but I'll show it to you now. We can play at about 88 beats per minute. That's a good medium tempo, and we're going to just play 16th notes. We can start straight. Your right hand, notice, can link in and lock in with straight metronomic eighth notes. Beep, bop, beep, bop, beep, bop, beep, bop. Your left hand is going to be doing all of the morphing. We're going to start straight. We're going to get in between, get all the way to swing, and then come all the way back through the spectrum. And the purpose of this is to get away from playing something either strictly straight or strictly swung. We've got to find that magic space in between. So here's the exercise. And this is about where you want to be. Right? Now, we're going to take that area where you want to be and we'll apply that to the hi-hat, and we're going to put a Mambo bass drum pattern on the right foot, and it's going to sound like this. I'm going to move over here as if we were on the hi-hat, right? So right? Now, a trick to this is going to be able to lock your left hand in with your right foot. And that might take a minute to get, and if it does take a minute for you to get it, that's okay. Just isolate that little problem, and what I like to do is isolate and annihilate any of the little issues that I might have. So you can do something like, right? Make sure that you can play your right foot with your left hand whenever you need to do that. So let's take a look at that beat again, the Ratcliffe Beat. Right? Now, from there, we can take that and slow it down just a hair, and then take away 2 and 4 on the snare drum, and it will just be up here on the hi-hat. Now, I'm going to put a little bit more weight on that left hand. And by weight, I mean that I'm going to swing that note just a little bit more. And I'm also going to accent that note just a hair. So then we'll take that from the hi-hat, move it to the snare drum, and it becomes Hey Pocky Way. Right? Now, too, you might notice I'm just playing on a towel, on a table. If you don't have a practice pad with you, this works. Sometimes when I'm in hotel rooms or today I'm in an Airbnb and we're in Seattle with Garage à Trois, you can make do and improvise and just put a towel on top of a table and that'll work too. So now what we're gonna do is take that and we're going to go back to the hi-hat and then we're going to modify this beat just a little bit and you'll be able to see how understanding this Ratcliffe beat is your foundation, and this is basically like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. Once you can do that, then once these things start coming at you, you'll be able to do these new ideas that I'm showing you. So this Fire on the Bayou, up back on the hi-hat, so you can work on your feel on the pad, or in this case on a towel on a table, play along the records and really work on that feel that's in between straight and swing. You could do this without even having a drum set in front of you. So now we can also take a look real quick at Jungle Man, which is a little slower and the accent structure is a little different, but again, over here on the hi-hat and coming over here on the snare drum, you'll be able to see the similarities. Right? Okay, cool. So now that brings us to the main event. And now I'm going to take the Ratcliffe groove and I'm going to modify it into, I'm going to morph it into Sissy Strut, right? So check this out. Right? So, as you can see, and when we have the hi-hat and the snare drum, you'll be able to hear those voices and see a little bit more clearly exactly how that translates from the Ratcliffe beat to Sissy Strut. But you can work on these things. You can even do this stuff on your lap and play along to the records and really develop the feel, which is the integral, essential part of this. And you can work on that stuff on the pad, on your lap, on a table with a towel, and you can really start to make some progress with these ideas. So, hope that is helpful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.